if he gets to be a 30, 35 goal scorer regularly, this is a great contract. And if he's playing with Nathan MacKinnon every year, I think he can be that. Want to do the breaking news, Pete?
Yes.
Breaking news is Colorado Avalanche and Martin Necas have completed an 8-year contract worth $11.5 million annually.
All's well that ends well. It's worth it to save that $500,000.
Apparently so. What's Rantanen's cap hit
12.
again?
I believe it's 12.
All right, so they saved money. There you go.
Can't argue with it. Who would you rather have? $500,000. That's who I'd rather have. I kid.
Kroenke needs that money. He's struggling.
No state income tax. Gotta point out.
There's no state income tax.
Is there?
In Colorado?
No, I'm just saying for Rantanen. So maybe he wouldn't have taken. Maybe he wouldn't have taken 12 in Colorado.
I believe it was documented he would have taken 12.
That's a crazy situation.
Bungled situation, but I will say they adjusted and they reacted and they fixed it as best they could.
Also,
like from where they were 2 days ago, what do you do now about Martin Necas? Sign him, give him 11-ish. They give him 11.5. Fine. The situation went wrong, but I think that it's a decent recovery. All in all, I give them a C- for the whole thing, maybe a D+ when that was very easily cruising towards F-ville.
So here's I get what you're saying, but here's where I differ there. Is I just don't think that Martin Necas is a $11.5 million player. Like maybe I'm proved wrong. He's not an $11.5 million player in my book. I think he's like a B tier player.
I think that he's a cleanup with Nathan MacKinnon player, though, and
that's
a lot of people could be,
and they've found that it works. Then keep it there, keep playing. But like they definitely bungled this situation, and this is the best that they could do after that fact.
Also, Necas is such a first month of the season merchant, not in the sense that he gets bad afterwards, but like he's the second straight season where he's had a really strong start to the season and like gotten paid for it more or less.
I also I want to see. I'm glad that this is off the table, that we can stop talking about Martin Necas and where he wants to play and if he wants to play anywhere, because not only did he get this 8-year deal, the first 7 years have a no movement clause as well. So we can throw away the possibility that like maybe the Colorado Avalanche will just dump him like next year.
I do see what you're saying, where the cap hit is a little high, but it's an 8-year deal, and you have to remember that this isn't a 29-year-old player you're extending. This isn't a guy who's coming off of like an entry-level contract and then a longer second deal. He's a guy coming off an ELC and then a bridge. He's 26 years old. Turns 27 this year, but like you're signing him for 27 to 35, if my math is mathing correctly. If he gets to be a 30, 35 goal scorer regularly, this is a great contract. And if he's playing with Nathan MacKinnon every year, I think he can be that. I just don't want. I want it on record that I'm not poo-pooing your reservations about the cap hit, because it should make you make a little face.
And I'll put it on record that like my brain is still getting adjusted to the new numbers and the new salary cap structure and which tier players belong in which brackets, and it's not made any clearer by the wild discrepancy in contracts that we've seen over the past year.
That's what I was going to say. Is I wonder to what extent like front offices are also going through that process of figuring out where things are going to be, what players are worth, especially after you have like really good players taking discounts, and also the Kaprizov.
You can't have the Kaprizov contract dictate what happens with the rest of the league. For one, basketball book, and for two, he's just so far off from what his peers are, and not even his peers. Like, I do not consider, maybe you could consider Jack Eichel a peer of Kirill Kaprizov, but Connor McDavid is not a peer of Kirill Kaprizov. But basketball book, Connor McDavid's situation is way different. He 100%. Intentionally did not take a pay raise. But if you want to live in the world of Kaprizov is worth $17 million, is Martin Necas worth $11.5 million? Yeah. Like,
right.
it's on the higher end of what he deserves. R. Lee Upper 90 in the chat providing some valuable information to this conversation that I think we were forgetting. Cap is going up. They do say that. People forget.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the part of the discussion here. It's that we're adjusting to like a new NHL world, and you want to throw out the Kaprizov contract because it's just not a realistic comparable at this point. I think that's fair. I think that you also have to throw out the McDavid contract because it's not a realistic comparable. Like that's what I'm saying. Our brains are just so fucking all over the place, and if you have a cork board of like what is the new salary cap structure in the NHL, the webs that are being weaved and tangled here are just so hard to make sense of, and my brain is not adjusted to it yet.
Crazier than they've ever been. I mean, time was Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane would sign matching contracts for about, I think it was 10 million or 10.5 million, whatever it was. And it shocked a lot of people. And you looked at that and you said, well, those guys make that. Bergeron makes $1 million or $2 million less. And everything kind of did settle in nicely. We are in a more confusing time than we ever have been cap-wise, but I typically default to, if you're a cup contender and you have the player, keep the player. You have to make tough decisions at points, but they made a tough decision on Nazem Kadri. They made a tough decision on Mikko Rantanen that proved to be, I could say, disastrous. So, like, how many tough decisions can you make? I think they got themselves to a point where he had to be the guy that they kept, even if he wasn't their favorite of the bunch, because you can't just keep losing the players. Because when you traded Mikko Rantanen, you did not get commensurate value. There's no way you can. If you trade a top 5, 6, 7 player in the league, you don't get one back. So they're kind of stuck where I think they had to sign him. Is the number a little high? I agree with you, yes. But I'm on board with this. I support it.
But you support it with the assumption that he's going to be a 30-goal scorer or like a mid-30 goal scorer playing alongside McKinnon. And yeah, like the results have been great to start this season. He's also shooting 31.8%.
Oh, no.
So like it's going to come back down. He's only hit 28 goals is his career high. He had 27 last year, played half the season with McKinnon. So like how realistic is the assumption that he's going to be a 30 to 35 goal guy every year?
Part of it is age. Part of it is age because a lot of players like Brad Marchand didn't start becoming galactical scorers until they were in their mid to late 20s. And I'd have to look with Marchand, but he was probably right around 27, 28 when he started to become that kind of regular 30-goal guy. There's not a doubt, though. There's so much projection in this, and baked into it is the fact that he's younger than guys are when they're typically signing these contracts, like this like big pre-walk year deal. So I would have done it is as far as I will go. I won't say I'm super confident in it, but I think that it is the work that had to be done. And as I said at the beginning of this conversation, it's a bit of a recovery on the part of the Avalanche front office that they kind of had to do.
Do you think that they do this deal if the free agent class does not get like decimated before this point?
Fair, good question. You think they're like, well, like Rantanen was never coming cheap, clearly.
Yeah.
Eichel, that would have been cool as hell, but I think that was just unrealistic.
But further to your point, like what else can you do? Like what else can you do other than sign the guy that you have and who like is what you got back for Rantanen? That's they painted themselves into a corner more or less. And
there's precedent for like Boston trades Sagan for Louis Eriksson, and Louis good for a couple of years there. He's really good in his walk year, and they're just like, you know what? We're just not in love with this guy though. Like this is not our guy, so they don't sign him, and that worked out because he wasn't good after that. But then they were just they were just a worse team. They traded a player, didn't keep the player that they got back for him, and then it's like, okay, so to bring it back to the Avalanche, are you just going to have Mikko Rantanen's value vanish into thin air? They're kind of stuck where they have to sign him. We'll talk more about this, though. Very fascinating. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.